Probably not for the veining. But what you want to do is pick the color of paint that your veins are going to be, and mix a little bit of water in with it. Not a whole lot, because you don't want it really runny. You want it to be able to stay in a single line, but you want to paint it on smoothly. So look at your little example, your little picture, and just pick a vein. I mean, you aren't trying to duplicate that exactly, but just trying to give you, okay, this vein goes up and to the right and down, and then it makes a little curve, or gee, it looks like a kidney, or whatever it looks like, but something just to give you an idea of to paint the veins. They usually go diagonally. That might help. But what you want to do is do a long line and twirl and turn your brush as you're doing it to make it as irregular as possible.
And we're using the tiny, tiny brush.
That's what you want. And I think I showed you guys this last time. I don't know if I can get it to where you
Oh, yeah.
It's the broken brush. It's not really broken, it comes that way. But what's nice about it is that when you're painting with it, you can see where you're painting. So it's really a helpful thing to have. So next time you get to go into a Michael's or a Oregon Art Supply, pick one up. Okay, so do your long, you don't want it straight, you don't want it solid, you want it just kind of, you know,
willy-nilly.
Willy-nilly.
There you go.
Perfect.
Is that a technical term?
It is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is. So you're going to do those kind of all over it. So I'll give you guys a few minutes to do that, and we'll talk about something else in the meantime.
In the meantime.
So Nancy, I was going to tell you that I had Louis on my shirt, and just as I was logging in, he jumped off. He tried to escape. I'm going to have to buff him a little bit on the back with some rough sandpaper, like you suggest.
Yeah. Just make sure it's wet, because it'll sand better when it's wet.
Good to know.
Yeah. And that might give it enough to
show everybody anyway. So this, well, I'll have to hold him closer to the camera. This is Louis the Lobster that Nancy made.
Oh, very
That's
cute.
great.
Really darling. And he was, before the meeting, he was like right here on my shoulder. But
either that, or you can sew him on your pin, because he does have the hole. And usually the safety pin things have holes in them, like at the top and the bottom.
Mine has 3 holes.
Yeah, so you might be able to stitch him in place.
Yeah, if the glue doesn't.
Maybe stitch him and then glue him. I don't know.
Do both.
I use the ES6000 on my magnets, but I intentionally try to leave the back have some rough spots so it has some place to grab onto. That's why I put those little hashes. Yeah.
I'll try to rough him up first.
Yeah.
Lobster abuse.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's very cute. How are the veins going, ladies?
Well, a little frustrating. The brush seemed too big. And so now I'm using a thread because I don't have a cat for a cat whisker.
Do you have a feather?
You
have any feathers?
Not on my desk, but that's a good idea. Okay, I'll be right back.
Ooh, I did make a new bead.
Let's see.
Oh, let's see.
Let's see if I can find one. A new design. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it. I don't know if I can hold it. It's a manatee.
Oh,
yeah.
Hang on, if I hang on to him like with this, maybe you'll see him. Oops, where's my camera?
Lost
There it is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, very cute. You have to get back just a little bit.
Oh,
Very cute.
Oh,
This
oh.
slippery
went
little
with the
thing.
lobster.
Oh, I guess I could have done this. I could have put in something.
Okay, Judy, do you suggest that I modify the feather or
You
just,
can tear it apart and use the spine, or you can just use one of the pieces of the feather.
That's a really
Okay.
great idea.
Mhm.
Because I know years ago when I bought these marbling kits, they came with a feather.
Yeah, but
oh,
that's for like doing it in real life and you use the tip. I wasn't thinking, I was thinking, okay, we need to be even smaller.
Yeah, you could just take
No,
off
if you
one.
take it apart, you can just use a real thin piece of it, or even one section of it.
let's see how it wants to work. Oh, I think that's going to be good.
Working better?
I'm
Yeah.
modifying my feather, but
Oh, okay.
my trial was better already.
I was going to hold up a little sign.
I do it frozen.
But then it came back.
Eh,
Oh, you all just like froze. Okay, how's yours going, Joanne?
I think I should have had a finer one, but I'll hold it up and you can tell me how close I'm getting.
Can't see.
Hey.
I'm going to pin you. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Some of the lines are heavier than I like, but I think they're going to have to work.
Well,
Well,
one of the
you're
nice
just
things about
playing.
doing this is that if you don't like what you've done, you can just wipe it off and start over.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
paint over again.
Until it dries, of course.
I need to get a needle. I'll be right back.
A needle would be another thing. I mean, it's not going to hold a lot of paint, though, is the problem there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Piece of like embroidery floss.
How's yours going, Julie?
Well, I took an old paintbrush and I cut a couple of the bristles off, and I'm using it with my fingers, and that
Way to go.
seems to work pretty well.
All right, so after you've made a couple of veins, what you're going to want to do is take your spray bottle and just give it a little mist. Now, don't do it too close. If you do it like this, it's just going to make a big
Wash
mess.
it.
In fact, I would suggest you do it like, well,
Way high.
way high and so that you're spraying down so that it goes evenly and doesn't run. And just give it a real fine squirt. In fact, you might want to just try doing it on your hand first to see where how much is coming out. I don't know what was in that before, but it smells nice.
I'm using the clean my glasses.
Bottle.
oh, that's what I'm using.
Yeah, that should work.
Those are the right size.
Yeah, I just keep my clean my glasses bottle in my paint paint collection.
Yeah.
So how much of this do we need to put on here?
How much
Well,
water?
No, how many veins?
I
Maybe
think it
that's,
depends on your picture,
Well,
doesn't
that's why I suggested you like find a picture of marble that you
Because-
like.
Because that's what my
Because that
picture
kind of
looks
would
like.
answer
You
that
can see
question.
it. It's just got lots and
Oh,
lots and
well,
lots
that
of
doesn't.
Yeah,
have
that looks
a lot
good.
of-
oh, nice.
Ooh, it's got kind of a
blurry ones. I
blurry
wish
place.
some of mine were blurrier.
And if you want to, you can also take the water and go next to the vein and blur it out a little bit, Joanne. You might want to do that
Yeah,
on
I
yours,
did
given
that.
what yours is like. And just kind
And
of
I'm
pull it out a
actually
little
gonna
bit.
lighten some of these that are too dark.
Yeah.
With just a touch of the original.
Okay, so I was concentrating and not paying enough attention. So I've veined and I've
Well, that looks good.
sprayed. Okay,
That looks good.
all right.
It's best I can tell from
Well,
here.
it's starting to blur a little bit. So I guess I won't put any more water on it. Some
So is this
darker.
something you could let dry and then do some more veining?
Yes. And then after you get the veins the way you like them, what you do is you take a toothbrush and put a little paint on it and pull your thumb back and
Get
just
a little speckle.
give it a little speckle. And then you can mist it again or not, depending upon how blurry you want it. And then just let it dry overnight. And again, if you do something you don't like, you can wipe it off and do it again.
So you said use about 3 colors. And so should we be using 3 colors right now?
I did.
Well, it depends on what the marble you're going for looks like. I mean, mine has, almost all the veins on mine are white. It's got a couple of little darker areas that I just kind of shaded a little bit in with a little extra dark gray. Let's see if I can.
Okay. So we're doing pretty much all of our veining right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like your like areas.
I like that.
all
Yeah.
veined.
That's really good.
So the thing I like about it is those little darker areas in there gave it a little bit more contrast. So you might add some of those in too while everything's.
So
sort
did
of
you
still
vein
wet.
yours with a lighter color?
Yeah, I started with sort of a medium gray, and then I put white veins on it, and then I added a little darker gray in between the veins. It's hard to go backward. I think I'm going right. I'm going left. Yeah. So let's see if I can get it to where you can see.
Yeah.
So then I put a little shading in on it, and then I sprayed it.
Hold it still and touch your screen. Is your screen a touch screen?
No,
Oh,
it's my
okay.
computer. I can't freeze it.
That looks good. I like it.
Still, yeah. Now the other thing you want to do is make sure that you bring your veins down over the edge,
Oh,
the sides,
Yeah.
so that it'll look. I don't know if you could. You probably can't see that on mine.
Right. So it looks like a slab put on your table.
Yeah. So it doesn't look like it's just painted on the top. That's a real important thing. So bring them down over the edges. And then I have a little handy dandy sea sponge that I've had, believe it or not, since I was in college. I had the sponge that long. It
Hope we
used
don't
to
have
be
to
much
use math.
bigger. Used to be a pretty big sponge. I keep tearing it apart and using little parts of it for things. But yeah, it's good for this kind of stuff. And I dabbed a little on here and there. And then I did the spray thing with the toothbrush and let it dry overnight, and that was it.
I noticed mine has very white dots, and I think I'm gonna try doing that with pen if I have. Yes, I
Or do that with your speckles with your toothbrush.
Yeah,
Well,
do it with your
they blur because the paint I was using for that needed to be thinned a little to get it to spray. But I think if I use the point of a pen, let's see, maybe I can make an actual white.
And I kind of mentioned the sanding sponges. So these are really pretty sad. In fact, I've got a little Jerry's list going with these on it. These are actually clean. I got my toothbrush out and scrubbed them. So you can tell they're clean by the back. But the thing I wanted to mention is the fact that when you're going to smooth it with the sanding part, but then flip it over and buff, and you'll get a really, really nice finish. It buffs great on the back, the sponge side, not the sanding side. So try one and then the other. And before you go in and put your final coat of varnish on it tomorrow after it dries overnight, make sure that you kind of wipe it off just a little bit with a sponge or a damp cloth or something like that after you sand it for the last time. Or you'll have paint dust in your varnish and you'll be sad.
I'm refinishing a rocking horse, and so I'm sanding the horrible finish I put on it years ago. And I saved the dust and used it for the dirt in the room because it was brown from the stain, from the wood stain.
Oh,
That's
So it was
funny.
perfect.
That's the sign of a true crafter.
Yeah, never let anything go to waste.
Boy, I can't tell you how many times I've adjusted my paint color with just a little bit of the dirty water wash that I've been cleaning
Yeah.
the brushes in for who knows how long. 'Cause I
Oh,
didn't-
yeah. But I looked at it and I thought, this looks like dirt. This is great. Because you get tired of coffee staining stuff.
Yes.
I don't know. I used like instant coffee or coffee grounds in one of my miniature projects, and initially it smelled kind of nasty, like dirty coffee grounds, and then it got moldy.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And then I had a mouse living in my miniature house. So I don't know if he was running all over the place because he had too much caffeine from the coffee grounds, but he peed on everything. It was horrible.
Diane.
Oh, gross.
It was gross. It was totally gross.
So that's why you got to that house, huh?
Well, I
He
don't
was
have
looking
any
for
more,
the
but
he was looking for the
all that.
bathroom.
I had to refinish the floors, and after doing all that, I just wanted it gone.
You couldn't find the bathroom in your house.
Oh, he peed in there too.
Peggy, do you have
Put
your
it on the
wizard?
floor so I could clean it up.
Oh, God, that's gross.
Peggy, do you have
Totally
your wizard
disgusting.
castle handy to where you could give us a virtual tour of it?
Of
Judy
what?
would like to see it. Her wizard castle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I want to see your wizard castle.
Yeah, you'll like it too.
Yes, because I have a special gazing ball or someone help me with it.
Who might that be?
Don't know.
Oh,
Okay, so I have to, okay, I'm getting to it. Do I flip screen?
Yeah.
I think I might want to knock down some of the lighting, maybe. Well, let's first of all take the plastic.
So while she's gone, no, while she's busy,
Second of all,
take a look and
Yeah.
tell me what you think. Am I getting better?
that
It looks good. Let
What
me,
I
hold on,
can
let me,
see, it
let me
looks
pin
really
you.
nice.
Marcia would be telling me to pin you.
Yeah, hold on, or keep holding it so I can.
Okay, bring your hand back just a little bit.
It's a little out of focus. You're
Yeah.
too close.
I love your pink and gray. Those
The
are
colors are great. The colors are great.
see if they can
Looking
see it
good.
at all.
I would smear it a bunch more. Maybe spray it a
That's
little.
kind of what I was thinking. Maybe spray it.
Soften it a little.
All right.
Judy, here's her wizard castle.
Hang
That's
on.
incredible.
Let me pin it.
And
So
it's
that's
half
Wow.
scale, right? Is it half or quarter
my.
scale?
it's
Ah.
half scale.
Okay.
That's great.
Oh, there we go.
I don't know if you can even how much you can see.
It's got a whole
Um,
lab. You gotta
yeah,
show her
that's
the outside too.
Wow. I like the furniture too.
It's amazing.
There we go. Now we're back inside.
There you go. That's great.
Okay, so that's my special gazing ball. It sort of changes a little bit of color. His bedroom, I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
see. That looks great.
It's fantastic.
His sitting room. And that's his dining room table. And his clock that's sort of a steampunk. Is that what you call it, Joanne?
Yeah.
Steampunk, yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
His lab. And then his basement. That's where he keeps his characters that he has changed. The local band.
I love the cage.
It's got the snake in it. Who was the
And
snake before?
Mayor.
The what? The what?
The mayor,
Oh, yes.
No,
you're breaking
The
up.
Oh.
You're breaking up, yeah.
yeah. And that's a piece of calcified intestines.
I thought
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Show her the outside.
Wow, look at that. That's great.
Amazing.
So that's the front of it. And
Oh,
he is friends to everyone. I don't know if I can bring a flashlight in on this or whatever, but it's hard to show. There's the gnome, the local elves.
Yeah.
There's actually fairies that are in there
uh-huh.
that have their own little corner space.
Oh, they're so sweet. I see the
Wow.
little wings.
Mhm.
And
What are the wings?
Yeah, the wings are actually Karen Reed's beehives.
So the
She
real
got-
bee's wings.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I remember watching you trying to make these wings work.
Yeah, and the project is the Watchful Eye. So you see a lot of different things.
Yep, you froze up.
Yeah, the little fairy wings are special because they're real bee's wings.
They're
Oh,
leprechauns.
God.
The leprechauns have their own pot of gold brew pub.
Hey, Peggy, what would happen if you turned on the flashlight on your phone?
I don't have my phone here.
Oh, I
Maybe if
thought.
I turn on the light in my bedroom, it sets in the front of my house, in the front of the house, in the little bay area. Is that
Sure.
better?
Yeah.
It's better.
Yeah, for the outside, that's
For the outside, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's
Um,
great.
Oh, show her your stained glass window that sticks out.
You mean that one?
No,
No.
the big one.
Are you thinking of
You
my
know the one I
house?
like.
The other house.
That
Thing?
one.
Oh, wow. That's
That's
nice.
gorgeous.
So Peggy, how is that done? I need to make a window like that.
Well,
Did you use golfer's lead?
On this one, I actually laid thin pieces of wood over top of it on that particular piece.
Wow.
These are actually leaded.
Okay,
Wow.
gotcha.
Did you use the lead like we used for the putters or the golf lead?
No, we actually, I took regular copper tape and really thinned it down and used it on the windows, but it's leaded from both the front and the back side.
A lot of work.
Yeah.
That's a good window.
Yeah.
beautiful.
Gorgeous. Yeah.
And
That's
that
excellent.
one. Yes, so, and then I did do the leaded on that one too.
What were your walls
one-
made out of? Were your walls cardboard and paper clay?
Paper clay, and I think these were the paper clay and the stuff that Rick. So
Help to mold?
yeah, no, what is it? Oh, the gator board. Gator board.
Yeah.
The eye there, that was a class that I took on the, the moldable clays, where you burn them off. What do they call it?
Metal clays?
Precious metal clay.
The class that everyone took that I didn't have a chance.
It was precious metal clay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it doesn't always have to be precious metal. It could be copper or bronze.
yeah,
But it's
that was
metal clay that you fire.
yeah. And that was from that class. And well, now you can probably see my fairies a little bit better.
Freeze on your fairies. Go back to your fairies. They're so
Oh,
tiny.
They were actually, the little railroading characters that I just stuck the wings on. And then, of course, Nancy made a bunch of mushrooms for me.
Yay.
Yeah.
The Aztec calendar was when they were first coming out with laser cutters.
Mm-hmm.
At woodworking shows, the laser people would demonstrate it by doing these Aztec calendars. And of course, I grabbed one up and
Perfect.
this.
There, I think I got this thing
Whoops.
less intense.
Let's see.
Well, let's wait till.
Okay, well, you want to let it dry a little bit because you don't want it
You
to
know
run
me.
when you hold it up.
Yeah. And this little spot there only became in creation because I can open it up to get to my electrical wiring. So, it's like everything else. And of course, I was fortunate to be able to have all these little mushrooms, thanks to a friend. This was Harry Potter was a guy that was doing some shows for a while, and he had made this particular little thing, and I thought it was very appropriate for the house. Most people can't see it because you never can look down in it, but there's actually an alleyway or a hidden tunnel that goes back down through there.
No, I don't think
really
I've
have
ever
to-
seen the hidden tunnel.
Oh. Yeah.
I don't think my head could fit in there to look in.
Yeah, that took a little while to do that one. So, but
Yeah, but it's great.
Yeah, I love that one.
That was a kit bash of a house just commercially available, right? Or plans? What did you?
no,
Scratch.
it was a house. My mind's not thinking at all tonight, but
The Thomases?
Yeah, the Thomases
Oh,
They- done a house that was similar. They called it the Faces of the Moon.
okay.
And they were actually presented in 3 different stages of the Nutshell News.
Yes.
And
I have
so,
those nutshell newses.
yeah, and so I always liked the idea of the thatched cottage.
Yeah.
And so I used that, and then of course I had to, the most interesting part of this house was when I found that I could not cover it without, I literally had to take and cut off the edge of my house. It was at least little, about 3/4 of an inch on this particular edge, had to be just whacked off in order to make it so that I could cover it. So the adventures, and of course the chimney is Diane's
Yep.
art. She taught us how to do the chimneys in the paper clay.
Yep.
And that's what, I don't know if that's what initiated the project or if it finally got it underway, but.
You did
It's always one little thing will spark you.
Yeah. You'll set on a thought for so many years and then suddenly something will say, oh yeah, I can do that. So.
I call that the great aha.
There you go.
So how are the painters doing here?
I'm actually kind of happy at this point.
All right. Well, that's what we want. Is we want you happy.
Yes. I want me happy too.
I'm putting the minerals in my marble because I was looking through my paint and I have silver.
There you go.
I thought about that, and I haven't tried doing that, so I'm glad you are.
I don't know if it will dry sparkly.
It should. And particularly if you, well, of course, you're going to put gloss over the top of it.
Yeah, and it's wet right now, so it looks glossy, but it's just wet.
Well, here's
Ooh,
this
that's
one.
looking good.
Thanks.
Oh yeah.
So I
And
muted that down a lot, and I like it better.
Yeah.
It looks
good.
nice.
So here's my starter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty
good.
close.
I'm glad the screen grab thing worked for you, Joanne.
Yeah, me too.
Am I?
I have used it since on several things. Oh.
It's
Okay.
handy.
The fun thing about this for me is I'm using the paint that I used as the trim color outside my house. You know, my house is shades of gray with pink and white. And so those are the colors.
Where does this table go? Does it go in your dollhouse? In your new
So
doll?
the living room, if it isn't too crowded, and it may go even if it is too crowded.
Well, I'm glad that this project is inspiring you to
Yeah.
use it.
So here's
for Nancy, I wanted to show
Uh-huh.
Lizzie P.
the legs.
Oh, look at her.
Oh,
She's up to 4 pounds. No, she's up to 3 pounds.
she's
So
grown up.
cute. Really cute.
So this is the base.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
the black?
Nice.
Yeah, black lacquer.
Uh-huh, nice.
That'd look good with the pinks on top.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And my living room is very dark crimson and then a floral that has crimson and pink and white and black. So all this I think will fit, I hope.
Nice.
If not, I'll make something else and put it in
Very
there.
happy with mine. I'm actually making 3 tables because I kept making more legs.
That's right.
And
That's
they're going to
really
go
style.
in my ideal dream room that I'm making out of those books that Peggy cut out for me.
Yes.
So I'm making the marble. We brought some tables with us from Switzerland, some dressers that have marble tops and green and sort of a little bit of brown on the bases. So I thought, since this is my ideal room, I have to have marble tops just like theirs, and I'll paint the same color below. But this is a really neat technique. I was kind of quiet at first, but that suddenly sprung to life when I started with the toothbrush and the little sponge. Those were good tips.
Mine got better when I went back and muted some of the things that were too wide or too dark. That I love, that you can actually
Trying to
go back
spread
and
out some of my splotches.
change it. Yeah.
Now, I haven't used the toothbrush yet, so
Oh, I love the toothbrush, but I would.
It really
Of course you
has
would.
a lot.
Do it on a piece of paper first so you know how much speckles coming out.
yeah, I brought a paper towel here on my desk.
Jenny, Julie was a dental technician through
A
her
hygienist.
I'm sorry, hygienist.
50 years.
If you ever need to make dragon eyes,
Yeah.
you can do these.
Whoa.
Wow.
And these are done on eyeglass lenses
Oh, yeah.
that I got from Mecca with nail polish.
Wow.
Wow.
Very
Oh,
nice.
fabulous.
You paint it on the
So
back.
when you put a
Mhm.
Yeah.
frame around it,
Right.
Yeah.
it works out
Perfect.
really well.
It sure does.
Yeah, so I got the eyeglass lenses for like pay what you want at Mecca. Because I made a big dragon one time and I needed to make eyes.
Yeah.
So
It's a good way to do it.
yeah, and even if you have small, if you want to make small ones and you've got those cabochons, you can do the same thing on the back of those
Yeah.
if you have clear ones.
Where did Marcia go?
She went to get Rachel.
Oh, that's right. She said she was going to have to do that.
Mhm. And I'm actually going to go because I'm going to go work on my country fair booth.
Well, it's good to see you. Thanks for
See you
bringing
next
it.
time.
See you too. And
Thanks,
glad you could
Nancy.
make it.
Louis says
Yes.
hi, Mom.
Okay. Take care.
So let me show you. I told you I'm working on an octopus.
Yeah.
And you know how big the rabbit was, right?
Right.
Yes.
So here is the tentacle
Wow.
octopus.
Oh my.
And I ran out of this, I'm using all the yarn that I've got already.
Right.
Got a ton of
Oh,
it.
so
So
this is
I ran out of
crochet?
the variegated, so I'm futzing with it and with other colors in there. But it'll have, every place
Oh,
you
I
see
like
one of
that.
these, there'll be two
Oh, my.
going up.
Yeah.
So
So
cute.
How long are the legs going to be?
the legs are, hang on, let me do a quick measure for you because they're big. 12, 24. They're about 29 inches.
Ooh.
Or no, they're over that. They're over that. 33 inches.
Amazing.
Wow. You go for long, don't you?
Hey, go big or go home.
And she joins a miniatures group.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, you know, I go from
Well,
one
I have-
extreme
I
to
have
the
a
other.
big thing. Julie will recognize this.
Yes.
Oh,
Good
that's
job.
my
There's the
golden
blue one.
Good
ring.
job.
Very cute.
Hey, I've been making so many miniature scrolls and stuff. I needed something else.
Well, I got this all together and then I realized that I'd forgotten. I've been putting sequins and beads on them too. Not a lot, but just a little bit. So I realized that I didn't put any sequins or beads on the ring. So I'm going to take the little strap things off
Oh,
and,
that's a good idea.
and there. Yeah, just a little bead around it
Mhm.
instead of a French knot, just to give it a little bling.
Right. Right.
There you
Very
go.
nice. Well, I have my embroidery all stacked up in a kit ready to go as soon as we know my husband can go to the hospital for his transplant. I have my go pack ready.
Good.
That's not going to be in Portland, right?
Uh-huh.
So will you stay up there?
Yes, we'll stay up there for a month, for 4 weeks, and then we may stay longer. My sister-in-law and my deceased now brother have a beautiful condo in downtown Portland, and their main house is in Port Orford. So she's
Wow.
letting us stay there.
Oh,
It's
wonderful.
it's
That's
floor to
nice.
ceiling. It's on the 15th floor to ceiling windows. You see Mount Hood when you're sitting having your coffee. It's gorgeous.
That's rough.
Very
So
nice.
when's his surgery?
Well, he doesn't have it yet. You have to kind of wait with transplants. We're not sure which person is going to give him the kidney yet. It was going to be his daughter, but that fizzled out at the end. So 2 very kind women volunteered. It was amazing how he didn't have a donor, and we had our Zoom appointment with his kidney specialist. And he was saying, well, you know, you are on the list for a deceased person's kidney, but that could take 5 years. And you have to know that if you have a they call them cold kidneys, which is horrible, but I suppose they are cold when they come from a deceased person.
Right.
That you have half the life expectancy afterwards than if you have a warm kidney. So he said, you really need to get a donor. And he said, have you been talking to people, telling them that you need a donor? And Dick said, no, I really don't. You know, he thinks of himself, he's always been a star athlete, and even to admit that he has anything wrong with his body is hard for him. So he said, well, you need to try to let people know that you need a kidney. I've had people, one woman put up a bulletin, a billboard about 10 years ago here in Eugene, and she got her kidney. She just said, I need a kidney. And this kind person volunteered.
Wow.
Or you can tell your neighbors. And I've had just the other day, someone told an elderly neighbor, but the elderly neighbor had a grandson who was going to be the donor, you know, who he'd never met. So I said, well, that's encouraging.
Yeah.
And I'm much more outgoing than my husband. So I said, let's go for a walk. So we went for a walk. We just got to the other side of our block. And we see a neighbor there working in her yard, and she said, well, how are you two doing? And Dick said, oh, we're fine. And I kind of lost it because I said, no, we're not. I'm fine, but you'll be fine after if you can find a kidney. He has to have a kidney transplant, and we just found out his daughter can't do it, so we don't have a donor. And she said, oh, you can have my kidney.
Wow. Jeez.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So she's even volunteering if she's not an ideal match for my husband, then she's going to do this program they have where it's a shared donor program. It's a nationwide network that they have at the hospitals that do transplants. And if she can donate a kidney, which isn't for sure yet, they're going to be deciding that. They're meeting tomorrow. Then they'll, and it doesn't match my husband's, that they will give her kidney to someone else, and they'll find someone who is a donor who wants to give a kidney to someone, and my husband will get that one.
Wow.
So A gives to B, and B gives to D, and so forth. And they even have chains of like 5 different patients getting kidneys, all kind of mixed up. Like you go here and you go here, but as long as they can work it out. So it's a wonderful program. So we don't know when that's all going to happen, but we kind of have to be ready.
Yeah.
To do it whenever it fits.
How's it going, Cheryl? Let's see.
I think I'm done.
Oh, that looks really good.
That looks nice.
Let's see your,
Oh,
okay.
yeah, I like it.
This, yeah.
Here's mine, which it doesn't look so good. It actually looks very much like the table of my dresser.
Ooh,
So
that looks good.
I'm very happy.
Hard to see because it's not very bright in your room. But
Yeah,
Right,
hold it
it's
up
not
again.
very bright, but it's
Hold
really.
it up again, would
Hold
you?
it up in front of your camera. And then back off just a bit.
Oh, I like that.
Okay, yeah, that's nice.
It's
It's
got the
kinda
black
like-
splotches and the white splotches.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like granite countertop.
Right.
Looks really good.
So I'm
let's
very
see yours,
excited.
Joanne.
Mhm.
Can we see yours again?
Yes. Where's my picture there so I can tell where it is? How's that? Close enough?
Oh, it looks
Get a
really
little
good.
closer.
Oh, yeah. Now that it's focusing.
Yes.
He's
Yeah.
the master
that
of
looks good.
illusion.
Looks good.
Yeah, I love the colors, the way you used them.
I'm happy. I'm very happy. And
Good.
even
That's
the
what
few
counts.
bits of white I put in do pop just the way this sample does. So that feels good.
So I've been driving
I
around
probably-
our neighborhood taking pictures of the hills and stuff like that because I want to do a mural in that little shop. And I have to show you guys the picture I took today because it's just really pretty amazing. Well, let's see. I don't know how am I going to do this. No, I can't. Sorry.
Okay.
If
Okay.
the host can let you screen share, then you can show what's on your screen to
Right,
us.
but Marcia's gone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's on the belt line.
Oh, look how good that looks.
That's
You like
great.
it with
That
the
looks good.
ivory colored
Beautiful.
table?
Perfect.
Really
Is
nice.
that yellow below?
It's ivory.
Ivory.
Uh-huh.
It looks great.
That's what mine will be.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
all look
Yeah,
I
that
like
wonderful.
looks nice.
the dark. That looks really
I like
striking.
it with the black, yeah.
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 So I'm happy with that.
Well, aren't we clever?
Very clever.
A 2-month project, but very
Yeah.
successful.
What are we doing next?
Right.
What are we doing next?
Oh, a good
Good
question.
question.
Well, you're locked in, you know, you've got months.
We need an August project, but there was one mentioned and I cannot remember. Somebody-
Potluck?
Yeah, we were going to make Fimo food for our potluck.
Well, what kind of Fimo food would you want to make?
Well, we usually bring some salads and some fabulous desserts.
Cookies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have it down here, but maybe I'll try and remember the next time we're gathered. The theme of my dollhouse is gradually developing, and it's Grandma's Here is the title. And so my trailer, my half-scale trailer and the car, and a figure of myself are going to be in the driveway next to the house. And then if I can find the right figures, the family will be gathered on the porch. And so in the kitchen, the way I developed that was all the things that were being prepared for dinner when Grandma comes. And one of the ones I made was fried chicken legs. And it turned out really cool. So at some point, I will show you my chicken legs.
And they're out of Fimo?
They're out of Fimo. Actually, they're out of, Fimo as a base. And then I glued them and rolled them in some of the landscape foams that are really, really fine
Oh,
to make them look like they have a
breading.
crusty surface, you know,
Yeah.
a la real
How
fried,
about
fried chicken of the
Oh,
old
look
days.
at that.
Oh,
It's a
look at
beautiful
that.
ham with the
That's
pineapple.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Whoa.
Did you do that
Fantastic.
one, Peggy?
Excuse me?
Did you do that one?
Yeah, it was the
It's-
national convention that I took, and she did the Thanksgiving ham or the ham,
Uh-huh.
and then the daffodil cake.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
that's so
Cute.
That's
Wow.
Yeah, those were fun.
That
She
was,
also did, of course, asparagus.
oh,
I
yeah.
got hollandaise
great.
It's like
sauce.
Easter dinner.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's cute.
Problem was is that then I brought it home and my deviled eggs fell off the trays.
Oh,
Oh,
there's 2 left. Oh, that's all right. That was the
No, so we got
appetizer and they've
lots.
eaten it.
Yeah. So they're just all stuck to the side so that I can work on them someday. You know me in 1 inch. Like Marcia in quarter scale.
You guys are opposites.
By the way, Peggy, I'm pretty sure that Lucille is going to be looking for a new home for the 2 Southwestern style shops that she has not worked on. I think she's done. She's got the one, if I can ever get back over there. I haven't found out yet whether she's has to quarantine or not, but she said the last time we were talking about things, she said she really wanted somebody else to take those. So anybody who would be interested in a Southwestern or a Western style store, quarter scale, she would just love to hand it over. And they're put together. They just need the finishing. These are the ones that Cherie sent from Tucson. Tucson?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm having a tough time inspired on any new really exciting projects.
I'm just trying to get, get things that I've got started done,
Yeah. She wanted me to take them, and I said, no, not until my dollhouse is done. I'm not taking anything to sit here and haunt me. I've got
Yeah. Well, Mary and I have the Cranberry Cottage, and we keep on talking about getting that started. She's been working pretty progressively on Picket Pond.
Good.
Cranberry Cottage, we thought we'd build it together, and oh yeah.
And then we
We
haven't
can
get together.
I think I'm going to take off, and we haven't had dinner yet, and my husband's grilling, so I said I would try to finish a little bit early.
Okay.
So I'll see you on Thursday, see many of you, and nice to meet you, Jeannie. I hope you've been inspired
Nice to meet you.
I have. It's
Good.
fantastic, really.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Julie.
I need to get inspired. I have so many of the really tiny, tiny beads. I was always going to do some bead work. I even have the loom, but I just haven't gotten it going. But I had gone to some, my husband was doing jewelry work or some lapidary work for a bit. And it meant going to some gem fairs.
That's dangerous.
And so I have all these little tiny beads that I need to use.
Looks like Kathy's joining us.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Kathy, are you there?
I'm here. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I can't see you. Did you click on use video? You have to actually
I thought
click.
I did. Let me,
You could go away and come back again and try.
okay.
Do we need Marcia here
Right.
to accept her?
What?
Do we
Oh,
need
well,
Marcia?
but if she got that far, I would think so. Because Marcia's viable. She has a square.
Yeah, but she's not there. I just didn't know if it requires the hostess to host to.
No,
click
I
you in.
don't think so.
I don't think
because
it does.
No, because
Diane and I were here, and Ginny we were all
We
here
were all here
before
before.
Marcia.
Okay. Okay. Good.
So years ago, I cut out a picture of some peyote stitch baskets.
she is.
And she is.
Thank you.
Hello, here I am in my bathrobe, ready to go to bed. And Bill,
Oh, that's like,
don't you have a
like
meeting?
really- yeah.
Go ahead with your meeting. I'll just listen.
Well, this is what we
Okay.
did. I don't know if you can see it, but this is the marble top to my little table.
Okay, wait just a second. I got to get you bigger. Oh,
Yeah, you pin video.
I still can't. Why is it not going right?
Click on her box, and then you'll see some blue
In. Okay,
indicator.
I got it. Oh, pretty, pretty.
It looks really good, Joanne.
I'm
that's
impressed.
And Diane, Cheryl has one.
Yeah, I'll show you mine so you can pin me. And I just stuck mine on the table. It's not glued on, but it's just masking tape.
Oh, pretty.
I marvel. See, you'll be
Good.
jealous that you didn't actually start this project.
I know I am. I'm still hoping to get my dollhouse cover
Yeah.
made.
Well,
Very
stick
good.
with us.
Did anybody else do one?
I did. And this one's
I'm
mine.
coming. Wait a minute. Pin.
That looks good.
Ah,
Lovely.
And
Oh,
you have a little drawer that
oh,
works.
I do
nice.
have a little drawer.
Oh, that's so cute.
Look,
Yeah, the
Yeah,
door is
that's
cute.
cute.
And then Marcia was working on one and Julie had one, but Julie
Julie has 3.
has them all done yet, but
Well, those 3 tables will go with her 20 chairs.
yes, exactly.
Yeah, and 40 rugs.
Oh,
Oh, God.
well.
She does learn her skills thoroughly.
You know what?
Yeah.
I forgot to turn the speaker up.
Oh,
My.
With my hair tonight.
Okay.
Supposed to look at
All
it
right.
in the mirror because it's backwards.
No.
There
well,
we
I feel like I'm channeling Julie with my pillows.
Oh, so
go.
cute.
Wonderful.
You got enough?
Oh, that's great.
Well, this isn't all of them. I do have more.
Hold them up again. Oh my. Such nice, neat work.
But my daughter works at a store that sells fabrics. And
Uh-huh.
so I can't help but buy things.
Okay.
Well, at the very least, I can make a pillow.
Ah,
And so these are all her fabrics.
oh, wonderful.
She's actually the buyer, so she's selected these fabrics.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's so cute. I love it.
Beautiful.
You just can't have too many pillows.
No,
Oh,
true.
that is true.
Oh, that's fun. You know, I didn't have any pillows when I gave the dollhouse to my grandchildren, who are now grown and have their own children. But the little one, when she was 6, she put pillows in it.
Good for her.
She found things that actually were the right size and looked right and made them big pillows.
Some kids are like that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
When we did the classes for the summer rec program, there would be 1 or 2 in each class who,
Yeah, the ringers.
yeah, instinctively knew how to
Yeah.
get scale right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Well, I have this farmhouse dollhouse. I'm going to take you with me here. And my daughters and I worked on it in the 70s. And then I got it out in, well, whenever it was for my grandchildren. And
Oh, yeah.
so, well, this, you'll have to kind of squint to see the artwork that's hanging on the wall next to the window.
Yeah.
Well, my granddaughter painted that,
Oh.
and
nice.
it's acrylic on canvas, so very
Hi.
real. And then she put it in the mail and sent it to me,
Well, there you go.
knowing that I would have a place to put it.
Hi. Perfect.
So we have a 3-generation passion for minis.
Ah, well, I'm hoping that we'll have a 4th, but they're only 1 and 3 right now.
Well, that's impressive nevertheless.
Well, I am going to go and make sure my husband has gotten his dinner because I ate mine early. It's good to see
Okay.
everybody, and I will see you on Thursday, whoever gets here.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. And Ginny, do you know about our Thursday group?
What?
Does Ginny know about our Thursday group?
We meet at noon on Thursdays, just like this. Marcia sends out an announcement to work on our own projects.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
not
cool.
organized like everybody's doing marble, but
Right.
we just get together.
Everybody's welcome.
Nancy joins in, so you could talk to her more about it too.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
List.
So glad to meet
Alrighty, ladies.
you.
I am soon.
I'm going to go too. So good to see you, ladies. I will see you Thursday.
Okay.
All righty.
Project.
Bye.
Nighty night. I'm going to go.
Bye.
Thank you for letting me come late.
No problem. Leave. Okay.
Well, I'm going to look forward to Thursday, and I hope I see you then. Thanks for the welcome.
Take care, Timmy.
Bye-bye.
I guess.
And Marcia's
Is
back.
it over?
We're just closing up.
All right. Okay, I gotta stop the recording.
Uh-oh, we're being recorded?
Uh-huh.
Uh-oh. Hey, Marcia, I noticed on your MCC